It's a very good evening to you all and welcome to tonight's Sunday edition. My name is Natasha Bennett.
And I'm Joyce Mabika. Nobo Maungwa is on sign language. Later on in the bulletin, Marilyn Gwenya will join us from our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. Our leading stories.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa says SADC EAC Corporation can resolve the Eastern DRC crisis peacefully.
Late national hero Comrade Tinaya Chigudu to be buried at the National Heroes Acre tomorrow.
Male hairstylists take beauty industry by storm in the capital city.
Trending masculine hairstylists are featured in our This and That feature. Be sure to join us.
World Football Governing Body FIFA bans Highlanders FC from signing players after failing to pay former golfer Baltimore Bruto his salary.
That and more in our sports buzz, but for now, let's take a look at the main news.
And now in our leading story, the participation of African countries at the just-ended SADC EAC summit in their quest to find a lasting solution to the DRC conflict is a testimony that the situation can be resolved.
These were the words of the council by the SADC chairperson, President Emmerson Mnangagwa. We get more from our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe.
When leaders of the Southern Africa Development Community SADC and East African Community EAC met in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania on Saturday the 8th of February 2025, it could be a turning point in resolving the security challenges of that country. President William Ruto of Kenya, who is the chairman of EAC, had a tete-a-tete with the President Emmerson Mnangagwa before joining other leaders of the regional groupings. At the main meeting, Rwanda and Uganda were represented by their respective leaders, that is Paul Kagame and Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, whose countries border Eastern Congo, where security challenges have repeatedly occurred, and they were there physically, whilst the Congolese President Tshisekedi Chilombo was not in the room but appeared virtually, as he could not make it to Dar es Salaam. Here, the two regional groupings chairmen speak at the meeting.
There is also a clandestine international dimension at work, whose persistent, cynical, and destructive effects must neither be underestimated or ignored any longer. For this reason, it is equally clear that such a conflict cannot be resolved through military means. We must resist the temptation to think that we can somehow shoot or bombard our way into a solution in the face of such a complex situation. Instead, we have to agree that only a comprehensive diplomatic approach, one that addresses the root causes of the crisis, secures the historical integrity and territorial integrity of DRC, and affirms the sovereignty of its people and their aspirations for freedom, justice, and development. That is what will establish peace.
The all-encompassing interests of the people of the DRC must be at the core of our deliberations. Let us do much more to realize sustainable peace in our sister republic of the DRC in our lifetime. To date, SADC notes and acknowledges the progress made under the Luanda and Nairobi processes aimed at silencing the guns, as well as facilitating dialogue among all parties to the conflict. This summit, therefore, should leap us forward towards a concrete roadmap to help resolve the ongoing crisis.
The president, who is also the chairman of SADC, says everything went well and resolutions were taken.
Member states should not, as individuals, support and arm these groupings. Of course, there was no member state that came forward to say they were supporting and arming, but it was very clear that these groups were actually allowed to operate from certain member states who were in the conference. That everything must be done to silence the guns, that they should not be rendered any support by any member state.
Yes, the geopolitics of the Great Lakes region has seen many challenges in the respective countries bordering the Democratic Republic of Congo. But it is an appeal to all Africans to respect the colonial boundaries, because if they do not, Africa would disintegrate like a deck of cards. This was a wise counsel of the founding fathers of the Organization of African Unity that gave birth to the African Union. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Harare.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa has consoled Namibia following the death of her founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, in Windhoek this Saturday.
The death of the African icon was announced this Sunday by Namibian President Dr. Nangolo Mbumba. In a statement, President Mnangagwa said he is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Namibia's founding president, Dr. Sam Nujoma, a towering figure of liberation and champion of African independence, whose legacy will continue to inspire generations. He added that Zimbabwe will always remember and cherish Dr. Njoma's principles and unconditional support as the nation faced concerted onslaught by vindictive countries of the West following the land reform program. The head of state said Namibia's founding president took Zimbabwe's struggle to fulfill the goals of liberation as his own, bequeathing to the region, Africa, values of Pan-Africanism and the spirit of total independence. Other leaders have also mourned Africa's revolutionary icon, with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa saying, as neighbors and compatriots, South Africa is united in grief with Namibians who have lost the leader of the Namibian revolution, who is inseparable from its own history of struggle and liberation. African Union Commission Chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat mourned, saying Sam Nujoma was the epitome of courage, never wavering from his vision for a free Namibia and united Africa. Kenyan President William Ruto described President Nujoma as a selfless, courageous, and visionary leader who dedicated his life to the liberation and development of his country, while Tanzania's Samia Suluhu Hassan honored the freedom fighter, a Pan-Africanist who inspired generations to stand up for the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. Sam Nujoma is remembered as a revolutionary icon who fought for the independence of not only Namibia but Southern Africa and the continent at large. He was president of Namibia from 1990 to 2005. Olin Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
May his soul rest in peace. Meanwhile, all is set for the burial of national hero Comrade Tinai Chigudu this Monday. Comrade Chigudu's body was taken to his rural home in Chendambuya this Sunday before being brought to Harare.
The people of Manicaland province had a chance to bid farewell to one of their own after the body of the former Manicaland governor and ZANU-PF provincial chairperson was taken to his rural home in Chendambuya this Sunday.
Ndakamirira wana wose kwa Chigudu, tarasikirwa na baba, tarasikirwa negamba, tarasikirwa nemutungamiriri, tarasikirwa nemudzidzisi, tarasikirwa nemurimisi, tarangarisirwa na ticha wedu, tarasikirwa na chiremba wedu. Baba wedu waiwa zvose.
Ini ndazwa kufara chaizvo ndizvo takatiri kuchemera mhuri yemumba medu yese kusungwa kurwira nyika. Changa chiri chishuwo changu chekuti izvi angafa kudari izvi Mwari wamutora dai wamuita wamuremekedzawo apiwa chiremekedzo chekuiswa kumagamba.
The Manicaland community and leadership commended President Emmerson Mnangagwa for honoring the sacrifices made by Comrade Chigudu, who left a legacy of hard work and patriotism before and after independence.
Ndinofara chaizvo nekutora jinda rangu rinewenyati seni kuti raitwa gamba renyika zvinotipa muono yokuti kuno kwachenda mbuya tetine vanhu vairwira rusununguko.
Chigudu ndakashanda nawo panguva iyo vakabva pachigaro chavo chekuva munyori mukuru, the permanent secretary weMinistry of Home Affairs, pavakasiya vaenda paretirement. Nekushanda kwavo kwakanaka vakaonekwa nehurumende panguva iyoyo vakava munhu akaappointwa kuitwa the governor weManicaland province.
The Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, says Manicaland appreciates President Mnangagwa for honoring the great works by Comrade Chigudu.
This man, Comrade Tinaye Elisha Zirasha Chigudu, was a wonderful blessing not only to you, the community here, but to Makoni District, Manicaland Province, and our great nation at large. This is why we should thank His Excellency the President, Comrade Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, for conferring the hero status on our gallant illustrious, devoted and nationalist son. Here lies an intelligent supremo of the province, an astute legal mind, a revered public servant who worked at the apex of the public service structure as a permanent secretary and a wise politician.
The board of Comrade Chigudu was taken back to Harare, where it will lie in state at his house before burial set for this Monday. Meanwhile, the director in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Mrs. Sylvia Stole-Fundire, revealed that all logistical arrangements have been put in place to ferry people to the national shrine.
Pamba pavo ku Mount Pleasant ndokucharara vanhu vachionekana na Comrade T Chigudu. Mangwanani bodi ichasimuka kubva kumba ichienda ku National Shrine, ku National Heroes Acre, ndokwavachachengetwa.
As an intelligence operative in the then Salisbury, Comrade Chigudu worked tirelessly in pursuit of freedom. His mission led to his capture by the Rhodesian regime, and he endured 12 years of imprisonment. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
The Second Republic has been commended for implementing projects that sustain the elderly and war veterans as part of an inclusive development strategy.
The Second Republic continues to prioritize the welfare of all veterans and elderly citizens through various empowerment projects which are now benefiting them across the country. The meeting of provincial leaders in Harare provided a platform for senior members of the ruling party to assess ongoing initiatives and explore future projects.
We are in full support of our president, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. Kubudikidza nekuti vari kutarisa vatana, vari kutarisa chirikadzi, vari kutarisa nherera.
Gore rino raifanira kuti dei kwakaita vanhu vakafa mudzimba nenzara. Kuda kuti baba vakatirangarira zvizhinji.
Kwedu uko kuzasi uko kuchiredzi, huku dzakauya, malaitsi akauya, mudzimba medu munotoshamisa.
Tanga tine dambudziko kuti ukarwara kumaruzevha kuti uende muchipatara uko zvakaoma, unoiswa mungoro igofamba ichiti guju pamwe chitodonetswa. But yenezvo zvaizi.
The constituency is eager to transform the projects into viable income-generating businesses.
Isusu senior citizen, la totanga neHarare province, takaita mikandu yema-ISOs yokubatsira machembere kuti vagone kuita income-generating project. Midlands takaita masolar lights distribution, tikavapa umwe noumwe malights ake kuti vaone. Midlands ndokwatakaita zvibhorani nokupa vakwegura vedu zvokuti vaonese mudzimba.
The ZANU-PF Secretary for War Veterans, Comrade Douglas Mahia, recently outlined several initiatives set to be rolled out for the constituency.
The President has fulfilled his promise that he gave to us at one of our national executive meeting when he approved what is known as the War Veterans Family Wealth Trust.
Recently, a War Veterans Fund was launched and President Mnangagwa approved the issuance of land to the constituency to support socio-economic programs. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has revealed that millions of dollars are lying idle in the country due to growing trend by business of keeping money in cash deposit boxes, saying the practice deprives the economy of the much-needed liquidity.
Announcing his 2025 monetary policy statement, RBZ Governor Dr. John Mushavanu indicated this financial disintermediation, which is stifling economic growth by depriving economic agents of the much-needed liquidity. He said the Financial Intelligence Unit of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe will not simply watch but deal with this malpractice.
The Reserve Bank has noted with concern the increasing abuse of safe-deposit boxes and the proliferation of shadow banks. It has been observed that some businesses are not banking all or most of their cash receipts and are instead keeping such cash in safe-deposit boxes held with financial institutions or security companies. The Reserve Bank is working with FIU, and we are going to be monitoring to see what is your turnover, how much of it was cash, and where was it banked? Because we cannot have a proliferation of banks that are not regulated, where safe deposit boxes have become banks. That cannot be allowed in a normal economy. So the FIU will be after you, especially those manufacturers who sell their products on the informal market for cash. We want to see that money being banked.
The Apex Bank chief added that keeping huge sums of cash is needlessly risky given the upward review on limits on prepaid credit cards and attractive interest rates on savings.
What we are saying is, if you are going to buy, you are a cross-border trader, you are going to buy anything from South Africa or wherever, don't carry cash. Load it onto your card, and you can load it up to $1 million US if you have it, and it will be safe that way. We have seen cases where buses have been waylaid by robbers en route to South Africa, and all the people in the bus have been told to surrender all the cash that they've got. If you've got a card, you just surrender the card and give them a wrong PIN number, and your money is safe. That is what we are saying. We are also saying it's not necessary for you to keep your 1 million in a safe deposit box when it can be in a card that is under your control, and it's money that you can use wherever you are in the world.
As part of efforts to promote a culture of savings and bolster confidence in the local banking sector, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has implemented increases in interest rates on savings accounts. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
The Presidential Community Fisheries Scheme is on track, with villagers in Macheke being the latest beneficiaries.
As the Presidential Community Fisheries Scheme continues to transform lives in rural communities, over 24 Macheke villagers in Murewa district received 32,000 fingerlings from the government.
Tinoda kuti tiri kupa kutenda chaiko kuhurumende yedu vanova vari kuti upfumi ngahuende kuvana veZimbabwe vese, chingave chiri chikafu kana kuti chii, leaving no one behind here.
The government expects the scheme to increase fish production and improve food security.
If we continue looking after them, they will create an industry in Murewa district. And if we create an industry here, we'll create employment. If we create employment, we create development for our area. We expect that by 2030, the fisheries project or a program will be $1 billion economy for our country.
A total of 10,000 fingerlings were also distributed to Mudzi district. The Presidential Community Fisheries Scheme is a major drive towards the achievement of an upper middle income society by 2013. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Macheke.
The ZANU-PF leadership in Masvingo province has called on its members to maintain discipline and support the Vision 2030 agenda.
A ZANU-PF Provincial Coordinating Committee meeting held in Masvingo on Sunday resolved to respect the party's leadership.
Resolution yakaitwa iyaya yokuti president tinenge tinawo 2030. Resolution isina kuitwa naMasvingo chete. Resolution yakaitwa namaprovince ari 10. Saka anenge asingadi kutevedzera izvozvo muconstitution unokwana kuti adiscipliniwe. Because it's not an issue yako yoga wakagara ipapa kuti ndofunga kuti ndoita here kana ndorega. Nokuti muconstitution muri kuti ita nokuti ndozvakabva kuconference. Saka it don't do so no. Game iri harisi rokuti ukagara kumba kwako ufunga kuti ndoita zvandinoda kana uri mumusangano. Asi ukabuda mumusangano nyaya dzanageza idzi inyaya dzokuti munhu apanduka, even muhondo vanhu vaipanduka. Kuno esi kuMasvingo tofunga takabatana.
Nzvimbo zhinji dzakavharika right now dzinovhurika, vana vedu voita upfumi. Chikuru chatinoda, mbiri yatinoda kuti munhu wese tisambonetseka kukonvinza vanhu kuti 2030 yakatinakira chii. Kana mukaona tose takuita upfumi hatikambeni 2030, vaMnangagwa vanongopinda vachifamba mu2030 nokuda kuti tetaisa upfumi kuvanhu.
The Masvingo provincial leadership spoke on the importance of supporting development programs.
Tatichinyanya kutaurirana nyaya dzediscipline kuti vanhu vazvibate mukufamba kwavanoita, umwe noumwe achimira paposition yake inoenderana nechigaro chake.
Tine nyaya dzemaprojects anofanira kunge achipera muNDS2. Tine dam reTenderunde richava the biggest inland dam munyika muno, rakadarika Tokwe Mukosi, rinofanira kunge richivakwa muNDS2 richipera zvekare. Tine master plan iri kuuya kuholonchewa yakapera, uya kuzoloncha master plan yeTugwi Mukosi.
The ZANU-PF government, led by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, is implementing various programs centered on improving people's lives. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
And now we cross over to our Montrose studio where Marilyn Ngwenya is on standby with more news from that end. Good evening, Marilyn. Over to you.
Good evening and many thanks to you, Natasha and Joyce. And now in our following report, government's dedication to honor the sacrifices by war veterans has been widely praised, with many commending its efforts to incorporate stalwarts of the liberation struggle into Zimbabwe's economic development agenda.
Establishment of the War Veterans League by President Emmerson Mnangagwa has been noted as the first step towards political acknowledgement for the Liberation War heroes. Speaking on the sidelines of the Presidential War Veterans Fund launch in Bulawayo this Saturday, League Secretary Comrade Douglas Mahia elaborated on the President's unwavering commitment to addressing the long-neglected needs of war veterans who played a pivotal role in Zimbabwe's liberation struggle.
The President then created a wing in the party, so that at least we find an opportunity, a window to dispatch the political knowledge that we had, and also tell the people principles a revolution.
Comrade Mahia also reflected on the challenges the liberation stalwarts have faced, highlighting that after the ceasefire, the United Nations was supposed to implement the disarmament, demobilization, rehabilitation and reintegration program, which unfortunately was poorly executed and underfunded.
Program inofanira kuitwa United Nations inonzi DDRR. I will explain. Iyoyo ineitwa kunyika dzose dzine dzamisa hondo nekuda kwekuti hondo yapera kunotorwa process yokuti munhu adzokere sezvaanga akaita asati aenda kuhondo.
The allocation of $1.5 million United States dollars to the War Veterans Fund, with each province receiving $150,000 interest-free, aims to provide financial support for short-term projects that will empower war veterans while contributing to the country's economic growth. In addition to the financial support, President Mnangagwa has since launched the Presidential War Veterans Borehole Drilling Scheme, which will witness each war veteran receiving a borehole at their homestead to foster agricultural productivity. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Zimbabwe has extended data protection for internet users awareness campaigns to the rural communities to guard against cases of cyber crimes.
As the government continues to ensure empowerment of rural communities through access to information, the Chatikobo community in Masvingo had an opportunity to be empowered on issues around cybersecurity, financial literacy and consumer rights at a meeting held in Masvingo.
Tadzidza zunhu zvinotichengetedza zvikuru sei pamusoro pamafoni, kuti foni haisi yokungoti munhu anongoishandisa zvaanenge angofunga musoro make. Munhu akashandisa foni achituka mumwe imhosva. Munhu haafaniri kuziva pini yeumwe munhu. Pini ndeyako iwe muridzi.
Tatasa nenyaya yekodzero dzevatengi. Ndinopa muenzaniso wokuti kazhinji unopinda mumashops hauone maprize nezvaanofanira kunge ari. Tiri kuti isusu nyika yedu ishandisa multi-currency system. Saka totasira kuti kana pane prize yeZig, panova neprize yeUS, panova neprize yemarens.
Tadzidziswa kuti vana vedu havafanirwi kuti vaone taridzo mafoni anonyadzisira, mifananidzo yakanonyadzisira.
The government is putting in place policies that ensure protection of citizens from cyber criminals and counterfeit products.
We have come and also we have taught them on data protection, what they should expect, how they should relate when they are using maybe their phones, when they are enjoying their experiences on the postal and telecommunication services. And we, as porters, we emphasize the importance of collaborative regulation. So we have been accompanied by other stakeholders that share matters of common interest.
Our message to consumers was in relation to the Consumer Protection Act. As you may be aware, the Consumer Protection Act has been in existence since 2019 to empower consumers in terms of their rights and responsibilities.
We're also developing affirmative procurement. We're encouraging women, youth and war veterans and anyone previously disadvantaged to actually join the bandwagon and participate in public procurement so that we have everyone having a cake from the public procurement ecosystem.
The government is working on strengthening the cybersecurity framework to protect people, businesses and the nation. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
In this week's I'm an African segment, to take you on a journey through the sands of time to ancient Egypt, where we celebrate one of Africa's most fascinating pharaohs, Tutankhamun, the boy king, who would become one of Egypt's legendary rulers.
Born around 1341 BC, Tutankhamun was the son of Pharaoh Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti. He ascended to the throne at the age of 9 after the death of his father. Despite his young age, Tutankhamun would go on to leave an indelible mark in African history as depicted in visuals of Tutankhamun's early life, including images of his family and the palace at Amarna. Tutankhamun's early life was, however, marked by turmoil and upheaval. His father's radical reforms, which included the introduction of monotheistic worship of the sun god Aten, had created divisions within the Egyptian society. Tutankhamun's advisors, led by the powerful general Horemheb, would eventually persuade him to abandon his father's reforms and return to the traditional Egyptian pantheon of gods. Tutankhamun's reign was marked by a series of ambitious building projects, including the restoration of the temples at Karnak and Luxor. He also launched a series of military campaigns to reassert Egyptian control over its territories in Nubia and Syria. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922 by Howard Carter sparked a global fascination with ancient Egypt. The treasures found within, including the iconic golden mask, are a testament to Africa's rich cultural heritage. For many Africans, Tutankhamun represents a connection to their ancestral roots. His story is a reminder of the continent's profound contributions to human civilization. As we celebrate Tutankhamun's legacy, we honor the ingenuity, creativity, and resilience of our African ancestors. We are proud to say, I am an African.
And that's it for myself, Marilyn Gwenya, and the Montrose crew for tonight. Sunday edition is off to a break. We will be back with Joyce and Natasha from our Pocket Hill studios in Harare with more.
Stroke of genius! Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosimuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupindawo mumabhengi semama business kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo mani. Zvino nestroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tikupindawo mubhengi sevamwe titopuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kuduza kuti land ese yatoneva
ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chera munda wako uchatoreki atova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi
exactly
zvichifambiswa sei.
President E.D. Mnangagwa igenius manje vakabva vati kuti zvinyatsofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
But iwo unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanofamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo ndiwo kopo usiri kudiwa naPresident Mnangagwa iroro. Ndosaka Land Tenure Implementation Committee yakati ngatishandisei ma-ID numbers, namba dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri. Plus Land Tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda patsvayo. Iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema-title deeds.
Iwe saka zvichida kuti tatoprotected kasei mavarimi.
Exactly manje.
Ukaziva
kuti une stroke of genius here. President E.D. apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
Have you heard about Marechera? Hanziko. But he says keeper. Shakuyendeka. They say he has this glow about him now. He doesn't walk. He glides.
I heard he has got people who iron his money.
But have you heard that when he coughs, money just comes out of the blue? Out of the orange.
Hey, yo.
Marechera.
Says Keeper, Shakuyendeka. Introducing the new Mukuru wallet.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Finding men within the beauty industry was rare, but the trend is becoming increasingly noticeable, with many men hairstylists now considered to be taking the industry by storm.
In this week's This and That feature, our reporter Fungai Jachi speaks to some male hairstylists in Harare. Let's take a look.
Years, men would strive to be anything muscular, from the food they ate, what they drank, and the jobs they did. But times have since changed, with men taking up space in the beauty industry. From hair to nails to makeup, men are doing it all, and at times seem to do it even better than women. Meet Spencer Mgoni, a hairstylist whose work helps to edify women's beauty through stunning hairstyles. For Spencer, the craft of hair is inborn.
I was born in a setup yokuti my father and my mother vaita zvokugadzira musoro. Saka takangokura tichingoita zvokugadzira musoro. So for me it's not a choice. I was just born in it.
Okay. Spencer is alive to the fact that not everyone is gifted with hair and has a plan for those with bald heads.
These days, nenyaya yekuti zvinhu zvaakuadvansa and you find kuti munhu anenge akatozvarwa ane manza kana kutoti but anenge achida kungochinawo sezvinoitwa vamwe. So takangofunga kuti we have to do something tofana watsvagirawo something chinongeza kuti bvudzi rita ringovharika, but it's not permanent, zvingori temporary, zvongoti maybe a month.
Cookie has become a darling to many women who are particular about clean installations.
I figured out Kuti is my passion. It's also my talent. That's the reason why I choose this.
Women say they now prefer male hairdressers because of their patience and creativity.
Men, the environment is different. You know, with us ladies, we tend to judge each other. But when you come here, it's different. You know, men, they're just different from us. So I'm more comfortable coming here.
It's good. And it takes his time. You come here, you want to rush, he won't do it for you. You have to be patient so that you do it well.
Apart from hair, men are also doing nails, with Tatenda Tabgirei confident of his expertise.
2 years tichita zvemanews tinongofara siraiti kana tichipepeta because ndokutya kwedu.
His clients appreciate his touch. Although there are certain stereotypes associated with men in the beauty industry, these men are not backing down in doing what they love. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, some awesome hairstyles and nail shapes there. Oh, that's awesome, amazing. Well done, guys. And, well, there's no career that is earmarked for males or females, so keep at it. We now take a look at our sunbees. Zimbabwe ranks high on the Global Human Capital Index, with labor practitioners playing a catalytic role in achieving that status.
The Black Belt Human Capital Institute this Saturday recognized labor practitioners in the country making a significant impact in the labor sector. The institute's director, Mr. Request Machimbira, explained the rationale for the awards in maintaining the country's human capital index.
The agenda for the vision for the country requires multi-stakeholder collaboration. And in the world of work, we've got employees, we've got employers. They converge to drive the agenda for the country. And in the process of driving that agenda, there are those that stand out in what they do. So we're celebrating mastery champions in the legal fraternity, from the labor offices, in trade unions, employer associations, and even organizations that generally are championing best practices.
Winners at the awards were grateful for the recognition.
We are happy to be receiving this award, the Gold Award for Leadership in Dispute Resolution. Indeed, we did quite well in 2024. Out of 23 disputes that were brought to the NEC for resolution, only one of them went to arbitration.
I'm highly indebted to the team that I'm working with. Without this team, would not have won this award.
I'm actually happy that those efforts that we've been making as an NEC are actually being recognized. And as a woman, I'm also humbled to also be getting this award.
The country maintains an eminent status for its advanced human capital development on the continent, and government continues to bolster this position through various policy interventions.
The government is closing the net on smugglers, with modernization of Forbes border post expected to improve efficiency and plug off revenue leakages.
This Saturday, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development told Forbes border post, where the border authorities revealed that they are harnessing technology to curb revenue leakages.
The Zimbabwe Revenue Authority, we have put in digitalization as one of our anchor strategies to ensure that we plug leakages. So we are upgrading our SCUDA system. We are implementing the Zimbabwe Electronic Single Window, which will bring on board other stakeholders and ensure that we reduce the dwell times at the borders. We are also implementing technology to assist us with enforcement.
Deputy Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Joshua Sako, reviewed the groundwork is being finalized to start the upgrading of Forbes border post, with works expected to commence in the next 3 months.
There are a few issues that need to be resolved around land, around the border post, and issues with, the Mozambican side. But these are being ironed out, and we hope within the next 2 to 3 months we should see work commencing.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Professor Mthuli Ncuya, said curbing revenue leakages and modernization of Forbes border post is among the government's top priorities.
It's very important that we then develop this border post, and plans are underway to do that through collaboration with the private sector. But as of now, we really, as a government, we have a blitz program to deal with the issue of smuggling, which is a big problem. We're losing revenue. Companies are under pressure because of competition from smuggled goods. So we have a blitz program, and I'm pleased that it is going very well. Also able to inspect the drone technology that has been deployed here. It's necessary so that we can again patrol our borders. But of course the terrain is tough. We need to improve on the reaction vehicles or something, so that they can, once they see something, someone can react to deal with any situation out there.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, is convinced that the upgrading of Forbes border post will improve revenue collections.
Sprucing up and rebuilding of this border post is just the catalyst we needed. This is part of the Beira corridor. Gateway to the sea, and trade and investment is going to boom soon after the expansion of this border post. We've been promised the coming up of 2 other border posts, the Keshaw Valley and the Katio border post. This is all going to add on to the growth of Manicaland economy.
Meanwhile, work to upgrade Mount Selinda to Chipinge Road has started. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutari.
And that's our Sunbiz for this evening, taking us to the world of innovators, where high schools have become bastions of innovation, with a student at Chiredzi High School coming up with a non-energy consuming installation slow cooker. Our reporter Gay Matambo unpacks this innovation in our science and technology feature.
The heritage-based curriculum was designed to foster critical thinking, problem-solving, as well as equipping learners with essential skills to navigate the challenges of a rapidly evolving world. It is with this in mind that a Form 3 student at Chiredzi Government High School came up with an installation slow cooker using non-degradable and polyester material as part of efforts to reduce challenges caused by electricity power cuts when preparing meals. The installation slow cooker, which does not use any form of energy, was designed in a way that it traps heat inside.
What I have for you today is an installation slow cooker made using K-lights, which are non-biodegradable materials. So K-lights contain voids which are able to insulate or trap heat for a long time. When we say insulators, we mean substances which cannot allow heat to pass through. So we also made the installation slow cooker making use of polyester cloth, which is also resistant to heat. We're going to boil beans for 30 minutes for it to absorb heat, so as to, when we place it inside this slow cooker, here as you can see, it can contain the heat up until the food is ready. We used these beans, we have already boiled beans for 30 minutes and the pot has already absorbed heat. We have a cotton cloth here. It is able to resist the heat that is contained by the metal pot. So we are going to gently place it and we are going to wrap it inside this. Can gently place it inside. We have also placed the pot inside the cotton cloth to avoid spillage within the installation slow cooker. So nice it is as it is. Make sure that it is down inside and it has not spill anything inside. So this is the lid. It also contains K-lights and polyester cloth. Place it inside. We just tighten the cooker. So as you can see, this cooker also has handles to make it able to be portable. And so the advantages of an installation slow cooker, it helps to save time.
The learners' work is part of the fruits of the country's new curriculum under the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education.
We have engaged our school head so that we produce these slow cookers in bulk so that we sell them to the community. It is a way of conserving electricity.
The projects are meant to encourage learners to research on community-specific challenges and develop solutions that align with Zimbabwe's broader national development goals and Vision 2030, which prioritize innovation and sustainable development. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
We now take a break and return with sports news. Stay with us.
Uchichaka kwekuyenda nekamari kekuspenda Zimbabwe, 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 travel Zimbabwe.
This Valentine's Day, gift your loved one an experience beyond words. Imagine strolling down the serene Binga Beach with your soulmate, listening to the waves of the lake hitting the shore, or exploring a charming hidden village, witnessing its beauty, experiencing traditional gastronomy, or simply savoring delicious meals in the heart of a bustling city, creating memories every step of the way. Nestled within the rugged heart of nature's splendor, your picnic unfurled upon a rocky outcrop, cradled between the sky and the earth, witnessing breathtaking sunsets together. This Valentine, travel with your special someone, discover new places, make memories, and fall in love all over again. Plan your romantic getaway now and let your heart lead the way. Travel and experience Zimbabwe this Valentine.
Zimbabwe, 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 everybody gets
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or struggling with difficult emotions? Do you feel like giving up? No matter what you are going through, you don't have to carry that burden alone. The Ministry of Health and Childcare, together with its partners, brings you the Parirenyatwa Psychological Support Center to help you. Call our toll-free hotline 2024, where trained professionals are available to listen and offer confidential support, guidance, and coping strategies tailored to your needs without judgment. Your mental health is important, and we are committed to helping you navigate life's challenges with the support you deserve. Take the first step towards feeling better. Call 2024 today. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can find a way forward. You deserve support in your journey to healing.
Do you remember back in the day? We would gather at that one house that
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. In our next report, a survey carried out by ZBC News this Sunday has revealed that Zimbabwe's retail and wholesale shelves are adequately stocked, aided by continuous growth in the capacity of the manufacturing sector. This survey revealed that most of the supermarkets in Harare and other urban areas across the country have adequate goods on their shelves. This comes after the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe Governor Dr. John Mushavanu announced that the retail sector will also benefit from a cheap lending facility. The facility is further expected to consolidate gains under the Second Republic that have seen local product stock averaging 80%.
And now in our sports update, the Zimbabwe senior men's cricket team, the Chevrons, are still within a chance of winning the one-off test match against Ireland after reducing the target to 109 runs on a rain-affected day at the Queen's Sports Stadium in Bulawayo this Sunday.
Day 5 will determine the winner of the one-off test match between Zimbabwe and Ireland after the Chevrons put in a brave fight to avoid defeat in bowling-friendly conditions this Sunday. Wesley Madevere carries the Chevrons Wasps into the last day of action at Queen's Sports Club after standing tall against All-O's to score a maiden test half-century in the rain-affected day 4 of the one-off test match between Zimbabwe and Ireland. With rain on their side, the Jonathan Campbell captain side took the fight to the Irish in the 53 overs bowled on day 4 of the test match, losing just 4 wickets. And night watchman Trevor Gwandu could not last the first over of the day, becoming the first wicket to fall during the first session of the 4th day of action, with the chevrons on 40 runs. Brian Bennett tried to hang on but was unfortunate not to get to a milestone after he was dismissed by Matthew Humphries, 5 runs short of an iconic half-turn after a 65-run 5th wicket stand with Madevere. Despite losing Bennett, Madevere was unfazed, partnering with Captain Campbell to put up a 6th wicket partnership of 56 runs before the skipper was sent back to the hut, caught and bowled by Matthew Humphries on 33. Nyasha Mayabo was the last to lose his wicket, contributing just 8 runs to the total, paving way for Newman Nyamuri, who closed off the day's play on 5 runs, partnered by Madevere, who was unbeaten on 61 runs. At stumps on day 4, the chevrons need 109 runs to win the match, while Ireland are 3 wickets away from victory. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News.
And now on to the world's most beautiful game. Things are not so beautiful in the Highlanders camp as the Bulawayo Giants' preparations for the 2025 season have been dealt a huge blow after the World Football Governing Body FIFA handed the club a transfer ban over unpaid salaries to their former gaffer, Baltimore Brito.
Less than a month ago, the club appeared to be on top of the situation in settling the salary arrears owed to their former Portuguese coach Baltimore Brito and his assistant Antonio Torres. The club made its stakeholders believe that their principal sponsor Secunda Holdings was making plans to settle the debt. Brito is owed $15,000 while Antonio is owed close to $12,000 in salary and bonus arrears. Following the ban, the Bulawayo Giants are now barred from making any new signings, be it local or international. Given the player exodus at the team, Highlanders were targeting to bring in new players but will have to cope with the available arsenal or look into their developmental side. Highlanders are not the first Zimbabwean team to face such a ban after Yada were handed a similar ban for failing to honor contractual obligations for their Brazilian players. Ntokozis Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Chisumbanje-based Premier Soccer League outfit Green Fuel are preparing for better fortunes up base in Bulawayo for their pre-season training.
2024 was a season to forget for the Chisumbanje outfit after spending the better part of the campaign fighting relegation. Green Fuel started the season with Rodro Dlakama at the helm, but elusive results saw the shrewd tactician being shown the exit door. Up stepped Sol Chaminuka, who had asserted himself as a messiah, having masterminded debutants Bikita Mineral's fairy tale. A lot of expectations surrounded Chaminuka's arrival, but the lack of goal-scoring prowess proved to be the club's major setback. After surviving the chop, the Chisumbanje-based side is now working tirelessly to improve from last year's performance, having parted ways with Chaminuka and elevated his assistant Taurai Manguru to the hot seat.
We are in our 4th week of preparations. We have done fairly well this week. We are in our team bonding exercise, hence the move from Chisumbanje to Bulawayo, where we have benefited a lot from the facilities here.
Players are looking to do much better.
Push as a team. Last season, we fight relegation from the start to the end. So this season, we compete. First half, first half season,
especially izozvi tine mamwe new players akaiswa beef on nema-coaches. Saka zvinhu zvedugadziro dzedu tikuona dziri kufamba zvakanaka, especially last season tandisiri kugohwesa kwaway. Saka totarisira kuti this year
Green Fuel have played practice matches against fellow Premier Soccer League sides Chicken Inn and relegated Bulawayo Chiefs. Mthokozis Dube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Now away from football, Lowveld hockey side Hippo Valley continued with their unbeaten run after thumping Nast in the second round of the Intercities Hockey Championship at Kumalo Hockey Stadium in Bulawayo.
The second round of the Intercities Hockey Tournament returned to Bulawayo with a bang, with one side standing tall. After dominating the first leg held a fortnight ago, Hippo Valley maintained their dominance after handing debutants Nastworks an 8-0 baptism of fire. The Lowville side, however, failed to complete a double over Bulawayo, with the two sides settling for a 2-all share of spoils. Nastworks player Tanyara Zomushaya Karara is happy with the exposure.
I think kuyancedisa particularly thina lapha eNast ngoba koBulawayo akula ma clubs amaningi awudlala ihockey. So I league le yayenza ukuthi sikwanise ukuhlangana lamanye ama teams awaphandle. So iyakhulisa ihockey and it keeps some players fit because currently bale something yokukhangelela. Babe kwazi ukuthi after every 2 weeks siyadlala ileague la. So abantu batshona be fit and kuyaba promote ukuthi bethanda ukudlala ihockey.
Rams player Rochford Mabobo also heaped praise to the organizers of the tournament, which has brought renewed hope among hockey playing clubs.
We've been training really hard on beating our rivals because we got strong opponents like BHC, Hippo. They really played tough on us. So on this second round, we want to beat them.
In other results, Nas Ladies beat Bulawayo Hockey Club 3-1 in their first match before beating Bulawayo Hockey Club 2-0. The second round also saw developmental sides coming to the fray, with Hippo Juniors beating Bulawayo Hockey 4-1. Kanimambo beat Nas Men 3-1 as Hippo Juniors winded their day with a 0-all stalemate with Kanimambo Juniors. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
In our showbiz segment, we take a look at the highlights from both the local and international entertainment scenes, featuring Zimbabwean and foreign artists making waves.
Dendera enthusiasts were in for a treat as seasoned artist Alan Chimbetu took them down memory lane, belting out yesterday's at Mshandera Palmer joint in Haifa. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe is proudly flying its cultural flag high at the Surajkund International Craft Mela Festival in India, where traditional dance group Dapura Unanza is showcasing authentic Zimbabwean rhythms and movements. The African continent is well represented, with Malawi and Tanzania also bringing their unique traditional dances to the global stage. Russia and Belarus are also part of the festivities, captivating audiences with their traditional performances.
Now back home, it has been an exciting week on the Power FM Top 40 chart show, with new entries, big movers, and some surprising drops.
Chiu Master surged to that. We are by Fantastic, featuring HM Hustler, which made a leap of 15 places to land at number 7. 96 Masanzu took a step forward of 21 places. Several new entries are already making waves, with Onai by MTG Hustler debuting at number 9, while Bad Energy by Attender Chings landed at 13.
Back to center,
This week's non-movers were Ambassador and Kilimanjaro. On the bubbling underlist, potential future chart breakers include Pengelenge by Baga and Maka by Gemma Griffiths.
Well, there's a lot of movers and shakers there on the Power FM Top 40 chart show this week. And that bringing us to the end of tonight's Sunday edition. Natasha.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Do you remember back in the day? We would gather at that one house that had a TV in the whole neighborhood to watch our favorite programs on ZBC. Whether it was thrilling wrestling matches, captivating dramas, or the iconic Ezomkito, ZBC TV was an integral part of our upbringing. It wasn't just a channel, it was a shared joy that brought us together.